Hi Mom. I hope you can see this. So I'm going to do these in a couple little bits and hopefully Sarah can merge it all together for us. So I'm starting the pasta sauce and I have my big pots. I have, I think, 9 cloves of garlic because I love my sauce really garlicky. I have half of a sweet onion that I've already taken the skin off. 1 large bowl. These are all the fresh tomatoes that I had to cook out of the garden, so I'm not sure if I'll use canned tomatoes, but you can use like half fresh, half canned, whatever you have. And then just some salt. So, oh, and fresh basil, hold on. And then I'm gonna do, honestly, probably, let's see, about that much fresh basil, probably a little bit more. So this, and then I'll show you is when it's cooking is I tear it up and put it in the pot. So I'm gonna chop everything to make this look or go faster, and then I'll show you when I start sauteing. Okay, so I've got the garlic chopped up and I've got the onion chopped up. I do the onion smaller just because I want it to caramelize and get sweet. It adds sweetness to the sauce. The garlic, I'm not too concerned about how fine it is, because you blend the sauce, so this will get blended up anyways. But I'm gonna preheat my cast iron pot or whichever pot you're using, and then I'm just gonna put a good, not a good amount, but you know, swirl around the pot of extra virgin olive oil, and I'm going to saute the onions until they get like a little bit translucent and brownish, because that's when they're their sweetest. So you can see here I've got the onions in here, they're just sizzling away. I threw in like a little pinch of butter to the olive oil to help the onions brown up. And then I also added just a little bit of salt. The salt helps get all the moisture out of the onions and helps them caramelize too. So I just keep stirring them. If you leave them too long, they'll burn. I haven't put the garlic in yet because garlic burns really fast, and if it burns, it turns bitter. So I wait till the onions are done, and then I'll put the garlic in. Okay, so these are almost done. You can see, let me just see if I can see how they're kind of brown and caramel around the edges like that. That's what you want out of your onions. So do that, and then I put the garlic in all at once. And I stir it until you can smell it. And when you smell it, it's ready to add the other ingredients, like the tomatoes. And make sure you keep stirring, because again, the garlic will burn really, really fast. Okay, so now I can smell it. I'm gonna dump all my tomatoes in. And then I'm gonna add just a little bit of water to help thin it out, since I'm not using canned tomatoes. So I don't use a whole bunch of water because I don't want it to be really runny. Let me just mix it all up. Maybe a little bit more water. So that was probably about 2 cups of water total for all of this. And I'm using a 5-quart pot, which is larger than the ones at the house. I think the red one that you have would work with this amount of ingredients. So there's that, and then again, the basil, I literally just tear it up and put it in, because again, you're gonna blend this, so it doesn't have to be chopped up real fine. And you can just tear it up like that. And then I add salt. I always add salt right now, because you want to add salt as it cooks, not at the end. But again, it's to taste too. So however much you want to put, if a little bit, if you like it sweeter. I try not to make it too salty, but this amount of fresh tomatoes, it can handle it. So see how you can kind of see the liquid sitting at the top? Let me see if I can zoom it in a little bit for you. So you can see the liquid sitting, that's kind of what you want this to look like. So I'm gonna let this simmer for at least 30 minutes. I'm gonna bring it to a boil, turn the heat down, let it simmer, put the lid on, and really let those tomatoes cook. The sauce I made when I was there, I actually started with a whole thing of, let me show you, this sausage right here. And I think there's still some in the freezer. Use it if you want. This one, I didn't start with the sausage because I'm gonna can some of this and put it away. So if I wanna use it for meatballs or something, it doesn't have the sausage in it. If you want to, by all means, use the sausage, like brown it, then put the onions in the fat, then the garlic, then this step. So the meat would be the first step. If you want a meatless sauce like this, you can do that too. Another good thing to use is like ground beef or ground turkey. If you're gonna use a meat that isn't seasoned and you want like a meaty flavor, put in some Italian herb seasoning blend if you have any. And again, that's just a taste. I usually just kind of sprinkle some herbs in. This again, I'm using a really basic recipe because I want to be able to store some of it for other dishes. So I'll let this sit and then I'll show you what it looks like right before I blend it. So I am gonna add just a little bit of seasoning blend. This is a Sicilian seasoning blend. Again, any Italian herb seasonings you can. I just wanna give this a little bit more flavor because I like it that way. So I just go like this. And I would say it's probably a teaspoon of seasoning. And now I'm just, you can see it's starting to kind of bubble a little bit. So I'm just gonna stir it, put the lid on it, and let it spill for about half an hour. Okay, mommy. So that's what it looks like when it's all done. Oh my gosh. So when the tomatoes are like broken up like that, you can see they're falling apart. That's usually when I'll blend it. And I changed my mind because I know how much your daughter loves sausage in her sauce, and I forgot she eats this like soup. So I browned up all that sausage. I'm just gonna put it in here before I blend all of it. Hold on. All right, Mama, so all the sausage is in here. And at this point, you can put it in your blender. I just let it cool off a little bit because you have a plastic blender. We're gonna bring an immersion blender back with us, so you'll have that option. But I just put it in there and just blend it all together. And that's it. So now you have pasta sauce. This has sausage in it. Again, if you want like not as fatty, you can use ground turkey meat with Italian seasoning in it. That's just as good. And if you take some of, pepperoni. Yeah, you can use pepperoni. If you take some of this, add a little bit of half and half in water, you have tomato soup as well. So that's always a really good alternative if you have a whole bunch left over. And then you can sprinkle cheese in it too.
And the longer you cook it, the thicker it gets.
Yep, the longer, and if this is too runny for you, just keep simmering it and it'll thicken up. But if you're gonna store it, I recommend storing it this way because then that way when you defrost it and go to cook something with it, it's gonna cook down all on its own anyways. All right, love you, Mama. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye, Mom.
Boy, do you get the orange pot, and I need to put water in it to start boiling.